From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie watchman. The failing coup against Trump. The USA has just lived through the greatest political spy scandal in its history, and most of the world, including its own people, have no idea about even the basics of it. It was a plan that involved illegal spying, faked evidence, entrapment schemes, multiple continents, and sleights of hand, which was breathtaking in its scope, in one hand. And on the other hand was mind-numbingly stupid in its ability not to cover its own tracks or its intentions. The progenitors of this audacious plan were so arrogant they never thought they would ever have to answer for their crimes. They believed that the media and their political allies would cover for them. They were so confident that they had a stranglehold grip on both the investigative and judicial branches of government that they would never be caught, that they would never be tried, and that they would never have to pay for their crimes. And they nearly pulled it off. But their whole scheme is slowly being unpicked by the alternative media. Their whole dastardly scheme is being looked into by teams that are travelling continents to find the truth. Even now, 2 years after it became obvious that the DOJ, the CIA, the FBI, and the Obama White House were working hand in glove to pull off this audacious plan, there are still media titans in the mainstream media who have no idea about its basic premise, or continue to be willingly complicit in covering it up. The evidence is becoming overwhelming, so overwhelming in fact that some of the usual media lapdogs are finding it hard not to report on it. Attorney General Barr and Durham are getting closer and closer to closing the loopholes, closer and closer to the key players, and closer to the indictments that are soon to shock the nation. Once the truth finally comes out in the courts as to the depth, the breadth, and the scale of this spy scandal, the nation will certainly be changed. That is, if the media reports it as is. This, of course, is the same media that sold the Iraq War, the Syrian War, and the Russian collusion scandal. It is powerful and dangerous. It is a propaganda machine with seemingly unlimited aces up its sleeve. It is a media machine that is intertwined with the levers of government and the intelligence services. The truth is a dangerous thing for the innocent, especially those investigating major political players whose pockets are deep and penchant for retaliation and revenge is deeper still. While all the finer details are still being worked out, the basics of the plan include using a known, fake, made-up story called the Steele dossier, where Trump is cast as colluding with Russians. The FBI convinced a secret court called the FISA court to allow spying on the Trump campaign. The Steele dossier itself was supposed to have been written by Christopher Steele, an ex-MI6 agent who worked on the British-Russian desk, but evidence is mounting that instead it was written by Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS, I should say, a pro-Democrat dirty tricks intelligence firm. Regardless who wrote it, the whole production was financed by the Democrat campaign of Hillary Clinton. To bolster the Russian collusion theory, other players were set up. For example, George Papadopoulos, a Trump-linked staffer, was fed false information, i.e. that Russia had Hillary's missing emails, by Joseph Massoud, a Western intelligence agent posing as a Russian. And this was conveyed to Alexander Downer, an Australian diplomat who seems to have been in the know, so to speak, who then fed the information back to the FBI. In commas, the Russians were trying to get Hillary's emails to the Trump campaign, close comma. This was a sting operation which, unfortunately for the Never Trump crowd, is now being immortalised forever in George Papadopoulos' book, A Deep State Target: How I Got Caught in the Crosshairs of the Plot to Bring Down President Trump. It is said there is recorded evidence of all of this. On top of all that, the FBI have altered written evidence to make General Flynn look like he was lying. And the Democrat campaign also got a Russian lawyer to meet with Junior Trump in Trump Tower. This was all okayed by the Department of Justice, of course. There is so much more than this that I have laid out. These are some of the obvious travesties, but the corruption runs deep as it curls and snakes its way through the corridors of power and money. The failing coup is slowly but surely morphing into the failed coup, and those who participated in it are starting to feel the heat. May justice be swift and true, and may the truth be told.